I'll do it anyway. Jeff Beazle.
Here.
Adam Blau.
Here.
Ben Hendry.
Here.
Eric Strange.
Here.
Andy Ellison.
Here.
Lauren McIntosh.
Here.
All right, please rise for a pledge to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great, welcome everybody. The first thing is minutes of previous meetings. We have the August 19th regular council meeting. I'll entertain a motion to approve that minutes.
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye, please.
Aye.
Okay, and then the September 3rd Public Utilities and Buildings Committee meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank
Did
you.
we want to read those out loud? Did we do that? Is it just the minutes? Or does he?
They agree.
He does
He did a report. You did a report last council meeting.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We got 3 meetings, right?
Sorry.
So,
We did.
September 3rd regular council meeting. Entertain a motion for that. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're down to visitors communications. The first thing, we got a new firefighter. All right, Chief, tell us all about him.
Well, thank you, Mayor and Council. As we did last month, we promoted to personnel to officer positions with the retirement of Captain Webster, which created a vacancy into our ranks. So we now have hired a new firefighter. So come on up here, Jacob. So I'm going to introduce to you Jacob Melville. He'll be a firefighter paramedic for us. He comes to us by way of Wilder Fire Department. Come stand by. He's been at Wilder for the past 5 years. He comes to us after he's tried several times to get hired with us, and he's finally persevered and finally achieved the position, so we're really proud of him for that. Jacob, like I said, is a firefighter paramedic. He holds an associate's degree in paramedicine from Gateway. He holds certifications as a technical rescue technician, a hazmat technician, a fire instructor. So he comes to us well qualified. When he gets assigned to a shift, right now he's doing 2 weeks orientation. He'll be going to shift 2 under Captain Carr. So we have our tradition where we go ahead and pin his badge on him. So he'll be badge number 7, and we have his lovely wife Maria right here who's going to put his badge on him.
He starts coming home, sorry.
Obviously, my wonderful wife Malia. I thank her for being by my side through all kinds. She deals with me a lot, and even though she wants to or not. My father Paul, mother Melissa, my brother.
I'm here.
My brother Joseph. He's a firefighter EMT for the city of Erlanger. So I want to thank you all for this wonderful opportunity of driving. Like Chief Hammond said, this is my 4th time, and so 4th time's a charm, and I couldn't be happier.
Well, congratulations, welcome to Fort Thomas. All right, next on the agenda, Fort Thomas Business Council update. Anybody from the Fort Thomas Business Council here? Okay, down to Northern Kentucky Area Development District update.
Good evening, my name is Stacia Kirkpatrick, and I work for the Northern Kentucky Area Development District. As you know, you are part of our district. We are 8 counties, 52 jurisdictions, about 60 people that we work with, local jurisdictions. We were created quasi-government back in 1979 from the General Assembly. So we have a lot of those powers that governments have, but we help all 8 counties. We recently did some strategic planning and realized that looking at all of our plans and all of our projects and programs that we do, we really work with our communities to do 3 things: collaborate, empower, and convene. And so that's what we're really looking at doing in the future, and that's why we're here today, is really to get some community engagement and to let you all know what we do. We have 5 divisions at the organization, which includes aging disability services, community development and planning, drug control policy, financial compliancy, food insecurity, local government services, and workforce development. I know I said more than 5 there, but they all kind of overlap. We are working to eliminate the silos that we used to do, and we only look at one program in one division, and we're really looking at crossing those barriers all around, because when you talk like food insecurity, we do our pantries in our communities, in our commodities. We also help our senior adults with their food needs and Meals on Wheels, and so those are 2 different divisions that we're working together on. Our budget is basically funded from federal grants, state grants, and local contributions. I know you all do a fair share with us, and so that helps us do all of our programs. Currently our budget is $32 million, and that sounds like a lot. However, a huge portion of that, about $18 million, $18 million was passed through. So we are the employer of record for a lot of our waiver programs. So if you have a older adult in your family and they have assistants that come into the home, we are their employee of record. And so that's about 1,000 employee records that we are. So it's a huge service, not just to the 70 people that work in our offices, but then also out in the community. With that, some of those community funding sources work with our economic development and our transportation. You are part of OKI, and we hope with that, our southern counties, which are Gallatin, Carroll, Pendleton, Owen, and Grand, we also do their transportation planning down there. So you all have all heard of OKI. I don't know if the mayor sits on that board, but we do that same type of planning for our regional, our southern counties. When we talk about our local contributions and our foundations that we get money from, that includes Covington Works, which is a workforce development program we work with the city of Covington with. We also have a cat spay and neuter program that we help our local veterinarians help with the cat population. I talked about the aging disability. There again, we do have a aging disability resource center. So we have a call center, and if you have older adults in your family, or you have someone call you who's like, I just need some service with my parents, we have this great resource, and so you just call. It's a voice service, and so you have to leave a voicemail. And if you leave a voicemail, that means we're going to call you back. And when we call you back, that means you have to pick up the phone. We have a lot of people who say, I called and left a message. Well, did you pick up the phone and call you back? Oh, no. Well, then we're not going to be able to do that to help you. So we do have adult resource guides that we're in the process of publishing our 2024-2025. Melissa, your wonderful clerk, will get some of those at the next clerk meeting in October, and she'll come back with those. And it's a big old box of these great resource guides that has all this great information about Northern Kentucky and resources for our older adults. And if she runs out of that one box, I will bring you another box. Because again, we understand that a lot of people now use cell phones to get all their information or the internet, but we do have a population that still likes a piece of paper and a booklet, and so we make sure to do that. But we're really going to talk to you today about what we can do for you all. We have 2 divisions, community development planning and local government services, that really focus on helping and serving our communities. And so what can we do for you? So some of the things we do for you, that we can do for you, is help you write grants, help you administrate those grants. We are working right now on some brownfield grants to help mitigate some sites. We also do land and water conservation grants, which I know you all have one for a state park, I think is the correct one. Some regional. We also do economic development stuff focused on the region. So we write a comprehensive economic development strategy, which is required by EDA, which is part of the Commerce Division in Washington. And basically, you all heard of BNKY, and they do that business attraction and retention. We work on the infrastructure that's required for economic development. So we write this plan, and it's a regional plan, and it talks about who needs sewers, what needs new roads, what needs really how do we make the foundation for economic development? And so we write that. We also write the hazard mitigation plan, which you all approved that resolution a couple months ago. And you all don't really have that many floodplains up on the hill, but some of our smaller communities and those along the river do have floodplains. And so that plan talks about how to mitigate if something floods. And so that is required by FEMA. We are in the process of getting that approved at Frankfurt, and then it will be sent to Washington, and FEMA should be approved. The big thing on that is you have to have a hazard mitigation plan to help with your flood insurance points. So without a plan, the rates go up, and we don't really want to do that to anybody. So we are working on that right now. And we also help calculate tax rates. I don't know if we all did yours. We did yours. We did not. No, I got some fancy calculator right there. But we do help our smaller communities with their tax rates and calculate those. We do also staff the City County Managers Association, and then we also attend the clerks, who, there again, are a wealth of knowledge, and so we just make sure that they know what's going on in our region, and then, of course, what's going on in each of our communities. And then, one thing that we're doing, and we've been doing it for about a year now, is housing. I know you've all heard about the housing study that AD did and completed, and so we got a study. A lot of times you just get a study and it's a bunch of data, a bunch of numbers, and it sits on a shelf. We did not want to do that, so in partnership with Brighton Center, the last year we've been working with different committees and community leaders to really figure out what we need to do in our community about housing, attainable housing, workforce housing, just make sure that all populations, everyone here can have a house to live in. And so we are getting ready on November 18th to have a big housing meeting and basically to present what we've been looking at for the last year and create from that meeting a playbook for you all, for our communities to be able to use. So we're not telling you what to do, we're giving you the options of what you can do. And so, because all communities are different, what's going to be good for Fort Thomas is not going to be the same for Florence or even down in Hamilton County. And so again, we're just going to give you all a playbook of how to work, look at housing and different types of housing, and then also work with the fiscal court and planning and zoning to really meet your housing needs in the community. And that's kind of like in a nutshell what we do. Do you have any questions for me?
Oh, thank you very much for filling us in.
No problem. You do have a flyer. On the back of that shows you where we're located in Florence, Spiral Drive behind the paint. Also looks at where our commodity warehouse is, our senior citizen centers, our other senior facilities, and then also our career centers. So right here we have one in Campbell County Library. We have the big one in the main one in Covington on Madison Avenue, and then also all of our staff, our senior staff's names are on that. So if you want to talk to anybody, just give them a call or send them an email, and then also tell you our board members. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right, next on the list is a proclamation for the Extra Mile Day. Whereas Fort Thomas, Kentucky is a community which acknowledges that a special vibrancy exists within the entire community when its individual citizens collectively go the extra mile in personal effort, volunteerism, and service. And whereas Fort Thomas, Kentucky is a community which engages its citizens to maximize their personal contribution to the community by giving of themselves wholeheartedly and with total effort, commitment, and conviction to their individual ambitions, family, friends, and community. And whereas Fort Thomas, Kentucky is a community which chooses to shine a light and celebrate individuals and organizations within its community who go the extra mile in order to make a difference and lift up fellow members of their community. And whereas Fort Thomas, Kentucky acknowledges the mission of Extra Mile America to create 550 extra mile cities in America and is proud to support Extra Mile Day on November 1st, 2024. Now therefore, I, Eric Haas, Mayor of the City of Fort Thomas, Kentucky, do hereby proclaim November 1st, 2024 to be Extra Mile Day within the City of Fort Thomas, and I urge each individual in the community to take the time on this day not only to go the extra mile in his or her own life, but also to acknowledge all those who are inspirational in their efforts and commitment to make their organizations, families, community, country, or world a better place. Given under my hand the 16th day of September in the year of our Lord, 2024. And Fort Thomas truly is a place where people go the extra mile. 10 miles, 20 miles, 50 miles, whatever. Also another proclamation for, let's say, KSO Day. Whereas 2024 marks 5 years that the Kentucky Symphony Orchestra has collaborated with the city of Fort Thomas in following their mission to make classical music attractive, accessible, and affordable to people in northern Kentucky and the greater Cincinnati region. And whereas the Kentucky Symphony Orchestra was formed in 1992 as the Northern Kentucky Symphony, and since its inception, the KSO has demonstrated unique ability to make the concert experience relevant and entertaining to its audiences while maintaining high performance standards and integrity. And whereas each KSO program contains both familiar and unique repertoire presented in a thematic context that is compelling and entertaining, through the years, KSO concerts have offered many surprises, including silent films, dancers, comedians, zoo animals, alternative, rock, and complete operas and musicals, country bands, a limbo contest, aerobic classes, poetry readings, Civil War battle reenactments, and more. And whereas the KSO has also collaborated with local arts organizations such as the Cincinnati Opera, Cincinnati Ballet, the Cincinnati Shakespeare Company, Playhouse in the Park, the Taft Museum, and community institutions such as the Cincinnati Observatory and Kentucky National Guard, to name but a few. And whereas for nearly 32 years, the Kentucky Symphony Orchestra has taken the phony out of symphony through live thematic concerts that culturally enrich, educate, and entertain the residents of northern Kentucky and greater Cincinnati through the performing arts. Whereas for 5 of those 32 years, the Kentucky Symphony Orchestra has called the Tower Park Amphitheater home to 3 yearly summer concerts, where it has brought a sense of grandeur and satisfaction that listening to a symphony can give to inspire people of all ages and backgrounds to invest in the arts community. Now therefore I, Eric Haas, Mayor of the City of Fort Thomas, Kentucky, do hereby proclaim September 16th, 2024 to be Kentucky Symphony Orchestra Day within the City of Fort Thomas, and I urge each individual in the community to take the time to enjoy the Kentucky Symphony Orchestra when it is available, and to open their minds to music and arts located in our region and community. Given under my hand the 16th day of September in the year of our Lord, 2024. We were very blessed to be able to get the KSO to come to Fort Thomas, and this happened back in the year of the crazy COVID stuff, when DeVue kept them out, and JR got in touch with me and said, hey, can we do something in Tower Park? And it turned out great. And the nice part now is they do DeVue on Saturday night, and they do Tower Park on Sunday night. So those musicians who spend all their time and effort rehearsing for a single concert now get to do it at least twice. And back in September, they did another one on Monday night too. So that was, and the Sunday night concert was really extraordinary this time. They did a great job. So I'm really happy to be able to do that. And now we are to the point of any other visitors who have signed up to speak. So as soon as Matt brings you the list, we can start. All right. Phil, how do you pronounce your last name?
Paradis.
Paradis.
Yes.
Just the way it's spelled.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Mr. Mayor and council, citizens. President of the Village Players, Amy Walpole, had a conflict tonight, and she asked me to stand in for her. I'm glad to do so. It's to tell you about our upcoming season, 4 plays, and you might see these around town. I have a few here. I'll leave them on the chair. If anyone would like to take one and help us spread the word, that would be just grand. There are 4 every year. Sally Cotter and the Censored Stone. If that sets off an echo, you know, Harry Potter and these sorts of, yes, you got it. So it's a parody. It's a takeoff. It'll be fun for the whole family. If you have kids or grandkids who are fans of Harry, you might want to have them come out and have a good old time with Sally Cotter and the Censored Stone and her crew. Also, there's Holidays, short original plays by local playwrights coming up around December, I think it is. True West by Sam Shepard coming up. and a new play, These Shining Lives. I can't tell you about that, I don't know much. But I can tell you, tickets usually are $20, but now we have a season pass for $60, so you can save if you're so inclined. I'll give you one of these if you can pass them. And I have some extra ones here too, which I'll leave over here on the chair for you. And just also want to say just a brief word about the 8 North, the Cultural Center. The Village Players own the building now, and they have embarked on a tremendously ambitious project that is refurbishing the former Women's Club building into 8 North, a community cultural arts center. So we're in the midst of a capital campaign. All donations are accepted, and we have this great little flyer here, which I'll leave some over here. If you haven't been aware of this yet, please take one, and if you feel so inclined to contribute to that cause, it would be much appreciated. I think that's about it. What? On the website. Yes, you can give it on the website.
Villageplayers.org.
Yes, yes.
Thank you, Phil. I have a lot of memories of Village Players. My mom was involved with that for a long time, so I spent a lot of time down in that basement. It was fun though. It's a great little theater. So if you haven't been to Village Players, you really ought to try it out. It's very intimate, very small, and you're right there with the actors, so it's a lot of fun. All right, Roger Neff.
Good evening. I'm Roger Neff, 39 Mayfield in Fort Thomas. So just a few questions. I know the pickleball courts are in or near being open, and I was wondering if somebody, I don't know who could speak to, if there will be some sort of soundproofing material or soundproofing structure of some kind.
Yeah, we looked into that, and the soundproofing, because of where it's at, the only way for it to be effective would make another 10 feet on the fencing. And in order to do that, it would require extra support, so we did not include that in the additional options.
So there will be no soundproofing.
Correct.
Okay. Well, that's a surprise.
That doesn't mean we can't add it.
Yeah, we can look into it.
You know what I mean? So I think we need to take baby steps with the actual volume will be.
You're willing to add it?
I am willing to add it. I personally am willing to vote for it if it's needed. But, I think we should step into it to see exactly what the volume is going to be like first. And make sure it's going to create any kind of nuisance or times and stuff. But I am more than willing to add it. I actually was hoping to add it in the beginning, but as Matt stated, I think everybody here doesn't want it to be a nuisance. But.
Sure. Obviously, that was my understanding. I'm kind of surprised that, and maybe I've missed some meetings. I apologize. But if it can be
It'll be readdressed if necessary.
Really be grateful. Okay. And will there be lights? At the pickleball? No lights.
No lights.
Okay. Thanks. So related to that, but just this is a bigger picture. With the pickleball, skate park, soccer fields, and maybe other things that are going to be or have opened recently in Highland Park. So is there a study or analysis of some kind on traffic and safety? I don't know exactly what I'm talking about, but it's a pretty busy stretch. You got Moyer, you got the swim club, you got the existing Highland Park attractions, and you got development on Fort Thomas Avenue. So pretty much from Fort Thomas Avenue all the way down past James, is there any sort of study that was done to say, hey, this is going to be the impact on traffic? It's a pretty busy stretch.
No, there was no traffic study that was done necessary.
It's not necessary?
From the development.
Okay.
I think that traffic was greatly reduced when the city kind of took back over the baseball fields and limited the amount of the traffic that was going back there for all the games. They were having 4 games a day, 4 days a week back there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's all been pulled back. So
that certainly helped the regional tournaments, but there's still like fall ball. I talked to a guy yesterday, and there's fall baseball, summer baseball, so it's not just Highlands baseball. So And I appreciate that, but it just seems to me, I mean, it's a really busy stretch of our town. And again, if there's no engineering analysis needed, then my question is moot, but it sure seems like somebody should be looking, hey, from Fort Thomas to pick your street, James, Sweetbriar, that's busy, and it's gonna get busier with pickleball, skate park. So that's just nothing that there is no analysis done.
No, so we have to see what the purpose of the traffic analysis is to determine if there needs to be extra lanes or turnoffs. So when the development does it, generally what that means is, does it need a traffic light? Does it need turnoffs, extra turn lanes? So that's the purpose of a traffic study. I think what you're looking at is determining how much volume and if we should close a park, right? Because there's no other alternatives on Highland Avenue. We can't add a lane.
Sure.
We couldn't add a turn lane even. So
Certainly.
other than removing parking.
Yeah, we're certainly landlocked in an old 1920s or whatever structure. Not so much closing a park, just more of just somebody professionally looking at this, because it's really busy, and I don't know what the answer
Yeah,
would
if
be.
you want to meet with me and we can discuss just some options. Again, people say traffic study a lot, so what I try to do is say, what are you kind of looking for something to discuss? And then sometimes there's other options to look at. So if you have the time to meet with me, maybe we can kind of review some of the other options that might be out there.
Okay, thank you. So this, for the skate park, I understand Highland Park is the location for that.
Currently, yes.
Is there any other consideration of other parks, Tower, et cetera, for that?
Yeah, we've looked at other locations and that one definitely fits the best. We're still 16, 18 months out from even moving to the next step on that one. But there'll be discussion at that time if necessary.
Okay. Well, I would respectfully ask if you could to please consider other sites, just because, obviously I'm biased, living on Mayfield, but it is really busy. So adding another regional attraction, in my opinion, is, not a good idea, but obviously I live on the street. So, okay, finally, is there a document of some sort or a guide that governs decisions that are made for the park, Highland Park in particular? Like if you're making decisions, the council, committees, is there some sort of, I don't know, document saying, all right, these are criteria we consider when we're gonna add or modify, or is that just really?
It's situational. It's situational. We do an analysis, we do building plans, and then we bring it to the Parks Committee. They review it, they discuss it, make changes, and then ultimately council chooses to approve the funding or not.
They do a comprehensive plan every 5 years, so it's a significant one. 6 years ago, they try to get as much community engagement as possible to see what they would need and try to find the best locations. So we're due for another update on that comprehensive plan. So hopefully when they update it, we can reevaluate. Obviously, a lot's happened since then, 2020, COVID, stuff like that. So it probably needs to be addressed. So I do think you should really think they can take into consideration traffic flow and what is best needs to the community. And sometimes you try to take the path of least resistance to get the best output for the entire community. Sure. And there's always some shrapnel. Unfortunately, you do live on a street that has a park that is widely used by the community. So it's an unfortunate thing. That's a double-edged sword. But please understand that when things are done, I think they're done in the best light possible for the community and the people around them. So at least that's how I feel that the city operates and what they do. I can't speak for everybody here, but I feel pretty good about it.
I understand
when it comes to the park.
Sure.
We did attack that baseball issue pretty heavily this year, so hopefully that did help out a lot.
That helps, but there's still a lot of traffic for a infrastructure built in the 1920s with really no changes. So I appreciate all of your time. Thanks.
I'd just like to make a comment too. Roger, thank you for your sentiments, and Adam hit on it. They don't fall on deaf ears. When we talked about amenities up at Highland Park, in particular pickleball, I think as a group we were pretty conscious about the traffic flow, and we heard from a lot of residents collectively on Mayfield, and a lot of us have talked individually with people who live on Mayfield, and always appreciate the input. And It is certainly a concern. I spend a lot, I'm there probably 5 days a week walking my dog in the park, so I'm guilty of adding to the problem too. But I do feel like the changes at the baseball field were helpful, and I would just like to say that I think moving forward, no matter what happens up there, could be next year or 5 years from now, we are very conscious and trying our best to, minimize the traffic impact on Mayfield because, it's a beautiful street with beautiful homes and it's got a beautiful park at the end. And unfortunately, that's the only access point to get there right now. So it's something we're all conscious of.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And my point is not to say close anything, remove anything, just maybe think about adding more is more my concern. But thank you.
Understood.
Appreciate it.
All right, John Ferris.
Joan Ferris, 66 Burning Lane. I have never run for an elected office in an elected city office. Regardless, over these past 3 years, I have begun to be recognized by citizens I've never known, most likely because of my attendance at city council, planning zoning, coffees and conversation, and design review board meetings, and the associated videos that follow. For some reason, people seem comfortable approaching and talking with me. I'm not serving tonight as their voice. However, I can't help but relay one major request that has been made over and over, repeatedly, over and over. Here it is. Why do so many at the table refuse to speak into their microphones? I realize that many of you simply prefer not to answer publicly, but really, isn't the public entitled to have answers to our questions? Excuse me, was there a question? Seemed as if there was. Oddly, turning to the side, away from the microphone, to tell the person next to you your thoughts or your answer doesn't really cut it. Placing the microphone 4 feet from your mouth has the same effect. I've mentioned this to our city administrator, who gently and honestly said he has requested cooperation on this matter. He also said I should feel free to remind the men at the table to speak up and to speak into the microphones. Suffice it to say that it takes a hard shell to rebuff a city employee who raises his voice, actually screams directly into the microphone for once, essentially telling you that he will let you know this answer only when he wants you to know that particular answer. So I'm here tonight to ask that every member of every council committee or board show a modicum of respect to anyone who asks you a question. We are people, we are women, we are citizens. Don't keep us from the answers we rightly deserve to have. Thank you.
Thank you. Elizabeth Allegrini.
Elizabeth Allegrini, 45 Lockwood Place. I'm here to address the elephant that's been in the room for the last couple of months. Not that elephant, but the elephant about the pickleball courts. When are they going to be open?
Well, I can say we did it'll be in my report today, but I kind of did a soft opening today. Talked to Todd Eager, and we do have the courts, they're complete, but we're waiting on our nets that keep getting delayed. So he's requested if the pickleball community could bring their temporary nets and use them right now. So that's what they're doing right now. I still haven't I just checked again today, and every week they've told me it's gonna ship next week, and it hasn't yet. So, but that's what we're waiting on. Everything is complete except for our nets.
So is there going to be an announcement made via social media?
Yes,
or,
yeah, it'll be.
I'm talking now to let people know that they can go down there and bring their own nets.
I can do that. It was, well, I thought Todd acted like he was gonna tell all the community, and
No, that's not.
I don't know if they should bring I don't know how he's gonna do it. I don't know if they have their nets in the car, or if he's gonna leave nets down there, I'm not really sure. So, but we're just waiting on all of our nets to come in.
So they're open a lot, because I know they were locked, so they're open
I
from.
gave him the code to open them permanently, if he was gonna use them, because I didn't get down there today to open them.
I will say too, Elizabeth, sorry to interrupt.
You're fine.
On my walk with the dog up at the park at lunch today, I walked right by there and there was a group of about 10 people playing. They brought their own nets. We know they've been to council in support of the pickleball addition. And I did ask, I said, how are the courts? What's the condition of the surface? What are your thoughts? And they were very, very pleased. I will say we will have a couple of tweaks we'll need to make. For example, and I don't need to go into great detail, but one of the gates, where, to access the courts, the balls will go under the fence. They just by like a half of an inch, but we'll need to figure that out. And there's a couple other places they thought maybe it'd be nice to have a shade amenity of some sort, just to particularly like a day like today to, be able to get out of the sun when you're in between games. So these are all things that, as we gather feedback, it'll be really productive moving forward.
Okay, so, okay, that answers the question. Then my second question is regarding the personnel manual that is possibly going to be moved from an ordinance to a municipal order. What specifically, since it was not posted for the taxpayers to view that, what changes specifically were made to that?
They were mostly within the police department changes because of their contract going away. There was a bereavement paragraph that's been updated, and then there was a military leave that was old. It wasn't the new KRS. And we're going to discuss. Yeah. The only other thing was removed was the org chart was like from the 2000s. That was very outdated.
The what?
Organizational chart
Oh.
that we'll discuss here in a little bit.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
So we're to contact Todd Eager because Todd Eager has a small group.
It
of
should be
people.
open. No, I mean, the gates are open.
I
So
understand that.
feel free to use it for pickleball
Okay.
until we get the nets in. I apologize for the nets, but we can.
No, that's.
Should we be wary of them bringing in their own nets with the new surface, or does it really matter? Because we're having removable nets anyways on stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we have some really high quality nets because Todd and I kind of went back and forth, and he convinced me to get the more expensive nets.
Didn't give up.
Yeah, no, he did. No, he did a good job. He's been great this whole time.
I just want to make sure that someone bringing in their own, that they're dragging them across the.
I think that community is pretty big on it. I don't
I
think that they're gonna damage it myself, but yeah, I mean, I don't wanna have all that sitting there and not be able to use it. They came
No, I
today
agree.
with a solution.
And it's beautiful out right now too, right? That's the point.
Right, so I think it'll be good.
Great. All right, we are down to reports of officers. Fire department report.
Yes, thanks, Mayor. So, late this afternoon, Judge Pendry issued a countywide burn ban effective immediately for all residents in the county. We've been under an EPA burn ban for like open burning for like brush and so forth like that. That typically expires in October. This is gonna be a burn ban for anything, including recreational fires or anything like that. The 10 fire chiefs in the county, we kind of got together early this morning, following suit with Kenton and Boone counties. It's just really just too dry to have anything. And, we've had a couple incidents up in Highland Park where someone's setting little campfires back in the woods. So, we've been on that as well as the police department trying to solve that. But it doesn't take much for us to have something pretty bad. We had some pretty serious hillside in this town. So we're happy to see the burn ban. So.
Does that include fire pits?
It does include fire
So
pits.
it's all fire.
All outdoor fires. And do you think, when will that part stop, do you think?
Until we get significant rainfall. And I stress significant because a night of rain probably is not gonna do it, so. It's so dry out there, it's really bad.
Okay, will you make an announcement at a future meeting?
Yeah, we'll
Especially
do
with
that.
the fire pit idea?
Absolutely, and
Okay.
since it came out so late, I'll get with Sam tomorrow and we'll get it on all our socials so that everyone in the city knows what's going on as well, so.
Okay. Great.
This is fire pits.
It is fire pit season, unfortunately, yeah.
Anything else?
That's all I have, yeah.
Okay, you may have anything for the chief?
Yeah, that's a good idea, by the way. If maybe we post it on the marquee out in front of the city building that there is a fire ban.
Yeah, and it's gonna be on Campbell County's, socials as well as Campbell County Emergency Management as well, so.
Excellent, thank you. All right, entertain a motion for receiving.
Receiving file.
Okay, is there a second? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Police Department report, Chief.
Thanks, Mayor. Our new recruit, Jack Fields, started the police academy today in Richmond, Kentucky. He'll be there for 20 weeks plus breaks for Christmas. So he'll finish up mid-February. We're excited to have him down here doing well. We're currently hiring. We've had a couple ads go out on our social media accounts and also the website, advertising for one vacancy, looking primarily for a lateral already experienced officer. And that vacancy comes from the retirement of Officer Sean Donnelly, who served our city for 9 years. So if you see that out there or know anyone interested, please send them our way. And lastly, we're in full swing for our Citizens Police Academy. We're in week 3. Everything's going great with that. I appreciate the support on letting us put that program on as well.
Great, thank you. Entertain a motion.
Motion to receive and file.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. City Administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. We do have a lengthy report that I'll try to get through. Rossburg Culvert, we did get the bids back on that. I'm not sure if I had sent that out to council. We did get that pretty low under budget. It was $270,000 with Rector Excavating. So that was really good news for us. That project will start at the beginning of October. That's at Rossburg and Covert Run. That will be a closed road for about 3 months starting then. So we'll have information out on that, but that's a project that it's replacing a bridge that has been failing, and we actually 2 years ago, right when I got here, we had to have Public Works go out and support it just to get us to this point because we weren't comfortable with the structure. So that'll be starting here in October, which is much needed. We're going to be taking that from a bridge and actually making it into a culvert to make it cheaper for us, especially in the future. So and more stable. So Tower Park Sports Complex. Regarding the pedestrian access, they should have probably finished the asphalt, the base layer there today. They are going to be working on the sidewalks that connect Sargent Avenue to Tower Park. From what the school is telling me, that their plan is to have the sidewalk open as opposed to the road before we're going to block a portion of the road off. But it'll be safer to do that. So the sidewalk is prepped. So we're hoping that that'll be done here very soon. He said by the end of the month. At the latest, so but that's definitely moving along, and Ethan has been pushing hard on that this week. We are taking a look, and I did start an analysis an engineer analysis to get us to the point of a bid, but to open the entrance from River Road to Tower Park, the one by the VA. I'm sure everybody's been on that and how tight it is. With this new complex, especially with the military vehicles as well. We've been talking about it for years, but we're going to go ahead and look into that and see what that's going to entail. And then that's something that I'll either add to next year's budget, or if it's something we think we can do this year, I'll bring it to council. It would be nice to have that ready for when the complex opens, because it's really tight to be able to turn in there. Is everybody familiar with the entrance I'm talking about when you go down River Road and turn left?
You're just talking about that entrance and not the one down before. Down.
Correct. The very first entrance, just essentially moving that east entrance back, just to allow to actually have two vehicles to go there without having to, pre-warn each other before you're turning. So.
Because at one point we talked about trying to cut the hill back on River Road for the second entrance, so it's better second.
Right. Yep. So I'll bring we'll have a look at designs, and I'll bring that to council once we're ready to move forward. The 2025 street program is starting now. It's Covert Run, Pike, Gunpowder, Pleasant Ridge, Memory Lane, Winston, and Hanover. So that's moving along, and we're already talking about the 2026 street program. We're having a little bit of problem with that. If you remember, we moved last year's program back a year because the water district was doing water, specifically lead pipe replacement, in I think Hardwick, Dixie, and then there's one other one. We decided to move that back another year because they did not get the grant that they wanted. We went out there with the city engineer and took a look at it to see if we can wait another year, and we decided to go ahead and wait another year, because if not, the water district would replace all the water lines, even the lead ones in the street, but they would still have to come back the following year or so and tear up some stuff to get to the houses. So we're hoping to do it all in one project, but once we have a plan together, we'll meet with Public Works Committee and start working on the next year's. Crosswalk lighting, we've been working on this, is something I've been, myself and Greg Mounts have been just looking for some test stuff. I don't know if anybody has noticed at the corner of Highland and the Avenue, the one street corner is very bright now at night. It's just a test run that we did was just some LED, some less expensive lights to see if we could do it ourselves. The goal is to light up the corners really well, so at night you see someone standing there, because sometimes that's the hardest thing along the avenue. So if you see that, take a look at it. Right now it's a little intense. We're working on making it a little smaller, or less intense, at least for drivers. They do have some more expensive lights that are made for that, but we're just seeing what we can do in that. So if you see that, just take a look at it. Feel free to share any thoughts, but we'd like to start replicating that through town if possible.
I have to get some phone calls on, like the one here, Bluegrass. That one's pretty dark right here in the corner, and some other intersections, and trying to lighten them up. And I think people are excited about the lit up ones now. They don't realize how difficult it was to install those and work with the state. So I'm glad to hear that you guys are working with our
and we did not get state approval for it, but it's just easier to do it.
That made a difference.
We're going to start on the areas that have power, which is obviously easier, and then we'll work on the other ones. But just if you see that is intentional, and we're working on that. We do have the tax bills, assuming council approves the second reading. We'll start printing those tomorrow, and they'll be mailed out by next Tuesday. Alexander Circle has started improvements today. We have been talking with the residents there about the old parade field and how it's really poor condition. It really wasn't ever finished correctly. So staff were able to create a plan for that, and we contracted that out, and they're going to be removing topsoil, adding topsoil, and replanting it. So it's not, because it's been rocky. You can see where the old road was. It just wasn't done to standard at the time. So we're repairing that. Additionally, the side of the softball complex we just finished, the drainage wasn't done right. The V-ditch is bringing the puddle to the front. So that's going to be regraded and then reseeded. So if you guys see that going on, that's something that we've been working on for the last few months and are getting it done. It'll look a lot nicer. Come back there on that. We have started, myself and Kat Disney have started talking to companies about redoing the play structures at Highland Hills Park. So that's just the initial, trying to get some ideas, and then we'll present that to the park committee. But we wanted the plan is to plan it this year and then put that into next year's budget. But we are starting that, and got some pretty good feedback so far with two companies. One of them is providing a really good grant to support that as well. So we're excited about that. I already talked about pickleball at Highland Park. The Midway Streetscape and Utilities project that council approved, we should be getting at least the initial analysis on that by the end of this month, I would say, and then hopefully we can be able to present it to Public Works Committee here in the next couple of months to see what direction we go and how that turned out. So that's just something for council to be aware of. Finally, legislation, we have our ordinance for the tax rate. We are going to withdraw the municipal order for the city personnel manual, and then we have two MOs for one for a board of adjustment appointment and then a tree commission appointment. Any questions from council or the mayor? That's all I have.
Riggs Park, people have been talking about that for a long time. Are we going to look at equipment at the same time Highland Park we are going for Riggs? I don't think they need a lot, but I think they could use maybe a couple.
Yeah, we were going to start with Highland just to see how this works, how easy it is to have these companies essentially design it, and then we'll probably replicate that for Riggs.
I just don't want to forget about Riggs. They've been coming up for a long time.
Yeah, it's on my list, but it'll be after.
I assume so, but we assume as well.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Matt, can you clarify the parade field up at Alexander Circle?
So the center field that used to drive around it,
Yeah.
now it's not.
Right.
The condition now, just over the years, since they've done it, they really just put soil over it. Now it's eroded and it's just rocks, and even for cutting grass, it's pretty rough. So some of the residents back there have been talking about it. The kids can't even play on it just because it is pretty rocky. So we went out there, took a look at it to see if we could rock hound it. It's just too large. So that we really needed excavators, so they've been making a lot of progress already today for that, but the soil that we take off of that, we're actually stockpiling to work on the trail around the tennis courts that we're wanting to do later this year, so we'll actually be able to utilize that and then bring in good topsoil, about 3 to 4 inches, and then we're gonna hydroseed that along. Since we were doing that, the other area by the softball field just doesn't look great. I mean, it was just never really finished, so we had them do the same thing there.
There's some great topsoil in that water reservoir.
I know.
It is growing fast. Have you seen how that's flourished as they drain that? It's a jungle down there. It's the Amazon, man.
Yeah. And speaking of that there was the reason that they stopped on Memorial. I'm not sure if I sent that out to council. Was there was a big kind of cracking dam in between the two, so they're
Oh, it's
still
between,
handling it.
not back.
Correct. It's between the two. that
Oh,
they-
yeah, you probably never noticed.
So they
Yeah,
have,
right.
they're getting another contractor to fix that, or what's the deal with that?
Yes. I have no idea. They were looking to see if they can, I guess, concrete in the dirt, and so you can see where it's covered with plastic right now. That's the crack, and I don't know how bad it is. I was lucky that they called me. I did notice work had stopped, and they called me pretty quickly and told me it, but I haven't got an update. But I will. I'll get an update from them on that.
Yeah, and speaking of Tower Park and Alexander Circle, I emailed Matt. He's been great about getting back to me. Mayor Haas made a point a few months ago. I don't know how long. The older I get, a few months could have been a year. Yesterday could have been a year. About softballs going over the right field, left field side there, and I just happened to be at a friend's house there, and their babysitter's car's been dented once or twice. So barely gets over that, and gets to it. I definitely think we need to revisit that for sure to make sure. Because I think there are 2 houses or 3 houses that are directly affected by that. That tree looks good, but tree is what they say, 80% air.
Yeah.
Our golf balls never except in golf.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I went out there today and took some pictures, and we're getting an estimate on it to see if that's something we want to add. It definitely shouldn't park on the street during fall. Especially when Officer Marksberry or Sergeant Marksberry is playing, we should definitely not.
Or
but-
Dill, any of those guys that used to play.
Yeah, but I'll look at that and just get a price.
I don't think it's a very wide stretch that needs to be covered, but you never know.
I'd like to get the resident's contact if you send to me, just so we can discuss it, because
Yeah, I don't know how far it's going. It was a brief
the
conversation.
way I looked at it on the opposite side than what I was thinking, it's a lot, if that's what they want, so
Alright.
we'll see. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, we're down to reports of committees, which we don't have. Old business, new business.
I have a little bit of new business I want to discuss real quick. It shouldn't take long. I've been thinking a lot lately about the department, and in light of us removing the officers leaving the union and coming to us, that adds 24 more employees to us. I just wondered at what time do we want to consider possibly getting an HR department, or we mentioned this before, maybe like an outsourced HR department. With today's climate and society, we definitely want to not only protect the city, but protect the employees as well. And I think we're not a small city, even though sometimes I feel like we operate as one because everybody knows everybody and we're so close knit, and there's a lot of families that have family ties here. But we're the largest city in Campbell County with 17,000 residents here, and we have quite the staff, and it just doubled. I don't know if it doubled, but it grew quite a bit. So I was wondering how the rest of council thought about taking that discussion to the next level. I would assume it would go to all labor license first and possibly finances after we figure out how much it costs. I don't know the exact route, but I have been doing some research on it, very minimal, just online research, and talked to a friend who just hired an HR individual, one person for their company. I thought they had outsourced originally, and there's so many avenues that HR can do. I think we only need 1 or 2 of those, you know what I mean? Just an independent auditor to have no side one way or the other, just make sure, as far as hiring and firing, making sure we're doing crossing our T's and dotting our I's, so we're not leaving ourselves for any open or further possibilities that could come from that. So I was wondering what people thought of that, and if we'd like to take the discussion any farther and send it to possibly committee with some more research.
Is that third party now?
No, it's internal between Joe and me. But I could definitely get some prices for an actual employee, and then this week I have a Sherwood Morgan conference, which is heavy HR related stuff. So I can look to see what contractors they have out there, and I can send it out to council.
We use outsource for payroll.
No, we do it in payroll internally. I mean, we do have a company that does, yeah, they issue the checks.
There's a lot of those payroll companies that provide HR services.
I saw that too, and I saw they do a lot of payroll, which makes sense. So I didn't know if it was something maybe we could take off something off our plate if the cost is insignificant, that we could, that way. Because I think a lot of I personally think we're still understaffed. I've said that to you before, and I think a lot of people wear too many hats here. We can focus individually on certain things. I would prefer that, but how does everybody feel? Would you do would we send it to a committee? How would that work?
Well, how about, let me do the analysis. I'll kind of pull out the tasks that they would do. At my last city, I had an HR director. So we can kind of pull out what tasks they would do, and then I can get a price for an in-house employee, what that would cost compared to, I'd have to look at the contracting.
Yeah,
because
that's a lot. It's a lot.
It would be difficult. I don't know. I'd say it'd be difficult, but it's because I've never used a contracted HR.
And I can tell you from looking at it that we've looked at some HR functions through ADP, which is where our payroll's through.
Sure.
And while they do functions, benefit signups and things like that, disseminating information, they don't really do the hiring, firing, judgment call sort of stuff. So that would be, I've gotten numbers on that in the past, and we've not used it because the benefit sign-up stuff is not necessary, but I don't think they even offer the next level, so that would be a more specialized service than what we could get through.
Yeah, I've seen that they do a lot of W-2s and payroll. How does everybody? I see a lot of nod heads, but I just want to say, is that
I used to work for a company that was outsourced each time, so definitely out there.
Yeah, this week will be good for me because I'll be there in Cincinnati at their conference, so I can get some.
No, I agree. I don't think it's a bad idea at all. If we,
especially when we're adding 24 more employees, that's a lot for you two to handle.
24 more employees?
Well, now they don't have a union officer anymore, right? So the police are now under our.
It's still the same. We still handle.
They're HR, right?
Oh. No, we do. No. We do all of it. They don't have their HR. They're on HR.
See, that's what we do HR, the fire department.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah, well then.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't realize.
No, we do all of it.
I only thought of this because we were eliminating that union, so I thought that was their HR representative.
No,
my initial thought. Now that I know that the police and the fire, we should have probably done this a while ago.
Yeah, it's definitely.
To be honest with you.
Yeah.
That's a lot. I mean, how many employees do we have as a city?
70,
That's public
70
works.
something.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah.
71. Yeah.
I think that's worthy of it.
I'll get that out to council.
All right, we are down to Finance Committee report on disbursements. You doing that or?
I think I'm gonna take care of it today.
Awesome, great.
I've got the.
Hey, by the way, Ben, congratulations, bud.
Thank you.
How you been getting any sleep? How's Devin doing, man? He just had a child, by the way, another boy, PJ.
She's probably watching this meeting, so I'll be honest. I've been sleeping pretty well, but she's not because
Good move, Ben.
But it's thank you for asking.
No, that's awesome, man. I'm glad it's cool. Don't forget about Shep, though. You know me. I've been checking on your pup. So.
Yeah, got the honor of pensioning for Melissa here with our report of disbursements from August 17th to September 13th of 2024. The general fund, $904,447.16. Public Works KDOT fund, $9,300.33. The CBD Revitalization Fund, $46,735.48. And the waste fee, $129,411.76, for a total of $1,089,894.73. We, the undersigned members of the Finance Committee, recommend that warrants numbered 25920 to 26045 be approved and the treasurer be authorized to issue checks for their payment. Ben Pendry, chairperson. Jeff Beazle, member. Eric Strange, member.
Great, I'll entertain what am I entertaining? Motion? Yeah. Somebody can concur in the recommendation. Concur. Will you concur in that recommendation? Okay, thank you. Would someone like to second his concurrence in the recommendation? Awesome, thank you. Roll call vote. Yes. You?
No, me.
Okay.
Jeff Beazle.
Aye.
Adam Blau.
Did you mention 4 names or 3 names on that finance report?
well, we only have signatures for 3, but, Andy Ellison, correct, is also a member.
Just wanna make sure that.
Yeah, they
I
just,
know, we just added that, so I didn't know, so.
Yeah.
Oh, Andy doesn't sign anything yet? He's just there?
You gotta wait a couple years.
He's a rookie. He doesn't get a
He's
pin.
got
a signature line, signature hold.
Wow.
Aye. Yes.
Ben Pendry,
Aye.
Background
Eric
check.
Strange,
Aye.
Andy Ellison,
Aye.
Lauren McIntosh.
All right, we're down to ordinance resolution.
If I could jump in one time, I made a mistake there. I thought this other ordinance was already written. We're gonna pull the repealing ordinance and the municipal order, and we'll bring that back as a ordinance for next month.
All right.
I'm sorry, I know we all talked about this, but it's not written to make it into an ordinance, so I think it's best just, we'll push that.
Did we wanna have a special meeting in order to get it through, so it doesn't cause you any issues?
It's not. We've already discussed that with council approving the budget amendment. I'm comfortable, and I think everybody else
I
is.
just wanna make sure everybody gets their money, their raises,
Yep.
and everybody's.
Yeah, everything's
Cool,
good.
right?
That's why last meeting, I asked, there was a breakdown between benefits and the cruiser, so everybody's good. I prefer to make sure everybody's familiar with that and we make it back into an ordinance, so I apologize for that confusion.
Matt, I'm sorry, was that the second and third out of these 5 bottom ones?
It is the second and third, yes ma'am.
Thank you.
Yeah, it'll just be the ordinance establishing the tax rate, which will be a second reading, and then 2 municipal orders, 1 for Board of Adjustment and 1 for tree commission.
Thank you very much.
The other two, the other 2 are completely stricken, they're not tabled or anything, they'll be removed.
Thank you.
All right. Take it away.
ordinance number 008-2024, an ordinance providing for the imposition, levy, collection, and apportionment of the taxes of the city of Fort Thomas, Campbell County, Kentucky for the year 2024 and fixing the tax rate.
Motion.
And what's it fixed at?
I'm sorry.
Take the motion.
It's fixing the tax rate. What is it fixed at?
$3.48 per $1,000 evaluation.
Thank you.
For 1,000 or 100?
$1,000.
Oh, 39 cents, I'm sorry, I forgot.
$3.48 per 1,000. Thank you very much.
Entertain a motion.
Move to approve.
Is there a second? Second, sir. Roll call vote, please.
Adam Blau?
Just one quick question for you. I know that we said, and I think this is nominal, I probably misunderstood it, didn't hear you last time. This did go up, that we said we were gonna hold it steady. Why did it only went up like, what, 12 cents or something like that, so $100, is that correct?
No, it was $3.48 last year.
It was $3.48 last time?
Yep.
I thought you said it was going up because of compensating rate, personal property.
No.
It's one of 3, it says 39?
No, what actually happened, so that exceeded the compensating rate. So we held the tax rate the same. Holding that tax rate the same with a small assessment increase meant that we actually did bring in a skosh more money. The city of,
Because the property assessment?
because the assessments increased a little.
So we would have to decrease the rate?
You would actually have
Keep it flat
what-
or keep it?
To keep the revenue exactly the same, you would have to adopt the compensating rate, and even then, I think the compensating rate tends to allow for a little bit more revenue too. It just falls that way, but we left the tax rate itself the same.
We went by last time and I saw that, I wanted to make sure I understood that completely, it's still, all these years later.
It's property taxes.
Yeah, you said in thousands and here it's in hundreds,
It's not easy, it's not easy to understand at all anyway.
Thank you very much for that. Aye, yes.
Ben Pendry?
Aye.
Eric Strange?
Aye.
Andy Ellison?
Aye.
Lauren McIntosh?
Aye.
Jeff Easel?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, down to municipal orders.
Municipal order MO 25-2024, a municipal order reappointing Brandon Rayborn as a member of the Board of Adjustment of the City of Fort Thomas, Campbell County, Kentucky, and setting his term of office.
Entertain a motion. Move to approve. Any second? Okay, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
This is one impressive resume, by the way. Other than it's covered Covington Catholic Engineering Advisory, so it's pretty happy with everything else.
Municipal order MO 26-2024, a municipal order reappointing Leonard Beck as a member of the Fort Thomas Tree Commission for the City of Fort Thomas, Campbell County, Kentucky, and setting his term of office.
Motion, please.
Move to approve. Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
we are very lucky to have people this dedicated. I mean, that letter back was just a pleasure to read, and the other resume was off the charts.
I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you all very much.
Hey, Ben.